Case, here's my review video for the core AT activity we did this week. What did I learn about myself during this activity that I do need to take time to reread over my emails and any type of document I submit? There were times where that I submitted something to the doctor's office, to the medical professional at the doctor's office that wasn't very professional. I spelled her name wrong on two occasions, I believe, and then my punctuation and grammar, which has always been bad, I've been trying to work on, was an issue as well. It's just something that I need to pay attention to until I actually get down unconsciously. It's just something I have to consciously look at, and hopefully will get better. The concepts that came upon during this exercise that I seen that I would have normally not recognized probably would have been the act of having the student schedule on the electronic medical record site to ensure that whenever you could go about scheduling a tentative date for their appointments without them knowing, so that way if once you bring it up to them saying would this day work, would this day work for you, you have options for them, so that way we don't you could skip that process step of the process with them. Another concept I'd say we should take, well, I would take away from this is understanding what different locations for MRIs can provide for your patient. I initially had assigned them, my patient, to all the locations so that way I could get him in anywhere, but not realizing that he was claustrophobic, so I should probably send him to the one with the open MRI versus the closed one, just to ensure that patient-centered care is the the root of why we're doing this. I'd say starting out, I was very confused with this assignment. I didn't really understand how to go about doing this. I felt like I was in over my head, but as I kind of like started communicating with the other professionals, I got a sense of where I should be and what my exact role in this was, and what all I need to do by myself versus asking others to do, or what should be communicated to others to have them do versus me do all by myself. Basically, understanding what each of our roles are in this entire process. I'd say one of my main takeaways from this assignment is just the problem solving aspect. I came up on a few bumps and hiccups, considering the fact that I was only able to communicate with the people at the insurance agency and the people at the doctor's office either early in the morning before my clinicals or late at night where I couldn't get hold of them. So I would either have to get all my communications done for the day in the morning, or I would have to send a message in the morning and then wait till night so I could get back to them because I wouldn't have access to my laptop while I was at clinical sites. And just kind of overall problem solving. There's a situation I ran into where I wasn't able to. I had to fill out the MRI request form. Sorry, appeal form, but the date clashed with the date I had scheduled for the initial MRI, so I had to look ahead at the student's schedule for the next day to reschedule the MRI back at the doctor's office. It's just kind of thinking on my toes and understanding what all needs to be done and how I should do it and how I can solve this problem on by myself without having a panic attack or an anxiety attack. Understanding what needs to be done. I'd say I can translate this into another situation because it's very. I mean, while not every doctor's referral uh, doctor's referral I will do will be the same situation, injury, MRI, go through insurance, the way this went, but it's still the same process. I contact the medical team, set up the appointment, and then they contact insurance, and then depending on whether it's approved or not, it should go smoothly. And if it doesn't go smoothly, I should be able to handle it accordingly the way I did this time. It's the main difficulty I saw in this is just the back and forth communication, making sure that all the ducks are in a row before the making sure all the ducks are in a row before the due date of when they initially want the MRI or initially want the appointment. It kind of opened my eyes to what it would be like when I'm on my own. Like I said, at first I was very overwhelmed. Not very. I was, yeah, actually I was very overwhelmed. I just didn't. understand what I was doing going into it, just because it seemed like I was dropped into a job that another AT was doing before me. But I caught on very quickly and understood both core AT, how to go about the putting rehabs and modalities in there, how to go about finding the information I need on the patient, class schedules, insurance, how to go about getting all the information through the from the initial physical at Core AT. But it also opened my eyes to the things that I do need to work on before I am in my own practice. For one, like I said, my electronic professionalism through via email. Over the phone, I didn't have any issues. I was very I believe I did well as far as communication over the phone. It's just via email back and forth. I kind of, as the messages going back and forth went on, I kind of got a little lazy in proofreading and making sure that the communication is professional, and it's more on the email professional side, less of closer to a text message or something I would send to someone in a non professional manner. Overall, I believe this experience was good for me and opened my eyes to a few things that I wouldn't have realized without it. And there's definitely a couple learning experiences I gotten from this. This has been my reflection of the assignment, and we're done.